Former President Donald Trump has been indicted after months of jury hearings in New York City. This indictment follows the grand jury's probe into a $130,000 hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels at the end of the 2016 election campaign, but extends to potentially 30 counts of business fraud. Although the details of this indictment are not yet known, if found guilty, this crime would typically only result in a misdemeanor charge. However, it could be upgraded to a felony if prosecutors link the Stormy Daniels payment to violations of election law, which cap donations to political candidates at $2,700 per individual and require them to be made public. The payment to Daniels could be considered an illegal campaign contribution and, in turn, could jeopardize Trump's plans for the 2024 election, though being a convicted criminal does not formally prevent someone from running for president. In any case, an indictment is not a conviction. It only establishes that there is sufficient evidence for a trial, not its outcome. And according to legal experts, any potential trial is still at least more than a year away, raising the possibility that the former U.S. president could face a jury in a Manhattan courtroom during or even after the 2024 presidential campaign. Plenty of political coverage is being given to this event. However, even if the trial ultimately hurts Trump's bid, it does nothing to affect the context that made Trump's far-right politics popular, the political network that supported him, or the systemic problems faced by Americans, from skyrocketing inflation to declining life expectancy. As a result, any negative effect on Trump's campaign could potentially only result in leverage for a different but politically similar candidate, for example, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. In global news, Finland is set to join NATO following the Turkish parliament's ratification of the country's bid, bringing the total number of ratifications to all 30 NATO members. This will bring NATO into new contact with Russia along 1,300 kilometers at the Russian northern border for the first time after decades of neutrality, reinforcing the Nordic countries' ties to Europe and the US-led alliance in a move that is expected to increase tensions. On a related note, the IMF has just announced a $15.6 billion loan to Ukraine. This loan comes in addition to the more than $75 billion committed to Ukraine by the Biden admin and US Congress, and other large sums expended by other NATO countries. On the front, it's day 400 since the war began. Recent video footage shows the latest Russian army advances managed to officially enter the center of the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, at least what is left of it. In Asia, 9 Chinese aircraft crossed the Taiwan Straits median line on Friday carrying out combat readiness patrols, according to Taiwan's defense ministry. This comes days after Beijing warning of retaliation if a Taiwanese meetup with American House Speaker Kevin McCarthy takes place. 4 Pakistani border guards were killed this morning along the Pakistan-India border. The attack is not believed to have been formally sanctioned by Iran. Andrew Tate, his brother Tristan, and 2 Romanian women were moved to house arrest while under investigation for alleged human trafficking and rape. Bucharest judges still hold the opinion that the brothers do pose a flight risk and will be closely monitored. And in Vatican City, Pope Francis has ended his 3-night stay in a Roman hospital after recovering from a health scare. In the continuation of a trend, storms struck Arkansas, Illinois, and Indiana this week, reportedly killing 7 people. The destructive weather came as President Joe Biden toured the aftermath of a deadly tornado that struck Mississippi 1 week ago. In other U.S. news, the first congressional effort to end the prosecution of Julian Assange has begun. Rashida Tlaib, the representative from Michigan, is collecting signatures on a letter calling on Attorney General Merrick Garland to end the extradition of the WikiLeaks founder. And in tech news, a lawsuit has been filed against Google seeking £3.4 billion for publishers who have lost revenue. The claim, by ex-Guardian technology editor Charles Arthur, alleges Google unlawfully used its dominant position in online advertising in a way that reduced what publishers could make from them. Google said it would fight the speculative and opportunistic action vigorously. On the housing front, UK home prices have fallen in March at their fastest annual pace since 2009, according to the latest figures reported by the BBC. That being said, it's not by much, just a 3.1% drop, amid a context of rising prices on goods, rent, and mortgages. That's all for today. We'll be back day after tomorrow with more news. As always, you can support the show and get the news in written format by becoming a patron at patreon.com/firstthought.